folks. Here we are again. Welcome to another episode of Wisdom Bird Talks Tech. I'm your girl from the Northeast, your chatterbox but tech-savvy host, Wisdom Bird. If I'm not online, I'm anxious like my phone's running out of battery. Hey there, future AWS machine learning engineers. I'm Wisdom Bird, and welcome back to another episode where we make AWS certifications as addictive as your favorite Netflix series. Today, we're diving deep into the monitoring, logging, and governance services for the AWS Certified Machine Learning Engineer Associate exam, also known as MLA-C01. This brand new certification launched in beta in August 2024, and trust me, it's already becoming the hottest ticket in the ML world. Before we jump in, here's your reality check. According to the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs Report 2025, demand for AI and ML specialists is expected to grow by more than 80% by 2030. That means if you nail this certification, you're basically future-proofing your career. Exam quick facts: 65 questions in 170 minutes. That's about 2.6 minutes per question. Minimum passing score, 720 out of 1,000. Focus on practical, hands-on ML engineering skills. Today's agenda? We're covering the services that keep your ML models happy, healthy, and compliant, because nobody wants their AI going rogue. Let's start with Amazon CloudWatch. Think of it as the helicopter parent of AWS services. It watches everything your ML models do. CloudWatch Metrics, your model's vital signs. CloudWatch Metrics are like your model's fitness tracker. Every AWS service sends metrics: CPU utilization, network in, memory usage, you name it. Here's the cool part. Each metric comes with namespaces, like folders for organization, timestamps, when stuff happened, up to 30 dimensions, attributes like instance ID, model name. Pro exam tip 1. Remember that you can create custom metrics. If AWS doesn't track what you need for your ML pipeline, build your own. The exam loves custom metrics questions. Metric streams, real-time data highway. This is where CloudWatch gets fancy. Metric streams offer near real-time, low-latency streaming. Imagine your model metrics flowing like a river directly to Amazon Kinesis Data Firehose, third-party tools like Datadog or Splunk. Exam trap alert. The key word here is near real-time, not actual real-time. Don't fall for that trick question. CloudWatch logs where stories live. Now, logs are where the drama happens. CloudWatch organizes logs into log groups. Think applications, like your SageMaker training jobs, log streams, individual instances, containers, or files. Your logs come from everywhere. SDK calls, CloudWatch Logs Agent, Unified Agent, AWS Lambda functions, those serverless beauties, VPC flow logs, API gateway, even Route 53 DNS queries. CloudWatch Logs Insights is your detective tool. It's like having Sherlock Holmes for your log data. You can query across multiple log groups, filter and aggregate data, save queries for later, add results to dashboards. Critical exam knowledge. SAR S3 export versus subscriptions. S3 export can take up to 12 hours, not real time. Log subscriptions send data in real time to Kinesis or Lambda. Subscription filters let you cherry pick which logs to process. CloudWatch Unified Agent, the overachiever. The old CloudWatch Logs agent just sent logs, but the Unified Agent, it's like the Swiss Army knife. Collects logs and system-level metrics. RAM, processes, disk I/O, network stats. Works on EC2 instances and on-premises servers. Exam tip number 2. When a question mentions additional system-level metrics beyond standard CloudWatch metrics, think Unified Agent. CloudWatch Alarms, your early warning system. Alarms have 3 states. Okay, everything's peachy. Insufficient data, not enough info to decide. Alarm, Houston, we have a problem. Alarm targets for ML workloads. Stop, terminate, reboot EC2 instances, trigger auto-scaling actions, send SNS notifications to your team. Composite alarms are the smart ones. They use and/or logic to reduce alarm fatigue, because nobody wants to be woken up at 3 a.m. for a false alarm. AWS XRay is like having XRay vision for your distributed ML applications. It's your go-to tool for debugging those complex microservice architectures that make up modern ML pipelines. What XRay does best? XRay excels at performance troubleshooting. Why is my model inference so slow? Understanding dependencies. Which service is the bottleneck? Pinpointing errors. Where exactly did things go wrong? Request behavior analysis. How do requests flow through your system? Tracing. Following the breadcrumbs. Think of tracing like following a paper trail. Each request gets an end-to-end trace. Each component adds a segment to that trace. You can add annotations for extra context, enable tracing for every request, or just sample some. Setting up XRay, the technical bits. To get XRay working, you need XRay SDK in your application code, Java, Python, Go, Node.js, .NET. XRay daemon automatically included in Lambda, manual setup for EC2. IAM permissions, because security first. Exam tip number 3. XRay captures calls to AWS services, HTTP, HTTPS requests, database calls, and queue calls. Remember this list. It shows up in exam questions. The service map, your system's family tree. XRay creates a visual service map showing how all your components talk to each other. It's like a family tree for your ML infrastructure. Super helpful for understanding those complex SageMaker pipeline dependencies. Security note, XRay uses IAM for authorization and KMS for encryption at rest. Always remember the security triad in AWS. Amazon QuickSight is where your ML data gets its glow up. It's the serverless business intelligence service that turns your raw ML metrics into beautiful, actionable insights. Data sources galore. QuickSight is like the social butterfly of AWS services. It connects to everything. Database friends, Redshift, Aurora, RDS, EC2 hosted databases, File Buddies, S3, on-premises CSV Excel files, Analytics Pals, Athena, AWS IoT Analytics, SaaS companions, Salesforce, and other business apps. Generic connections, any JDBC ODBC data source. The speed daemon, SPICE, super fast parallel in-memory calculation engine, is QuickSight's secret sauce. Columnar storage for lightning-fast queries. In-memory processing for instant results. 10 gigabytes per user included in the base package. Perfect for analyzing large ML training datasets. Exam tip number 4. When you see questions about fast interactive queries on large datasets, think SPICE. ML-powered features. QuickSight isn't just about pretty charts. It's got ML superpowers. Anomaly detection. Spot weird patterns in your model performance. Forecasting. Predict future trends. Auto-narratives. AI-generated insights. QuickSight Q, the natural language genius. This is where things get sci-fi cool. QuickSight Q uses NLP to answer business questions in plain English. What are the top-selling items in Florida? How did our model accuracy change last quarter? Show me inference costs by region. Security and management. QuickSight Enterprise Edition offers row-level and column-level security, private VPC access, SAML SSO and Active Directory integration, MFA support, anti-pattern alert. While QuickSight can do some ETL, it's not meant for heavy data transformation. Use AWS Glue for extensive ETL work. AWS CloudTrail is like having a security camera that never sleeps. It records everything happening in your AWS account. For ML engineers, it's your compliance and governance best friend. CloudTrail is enabled by default and tracks API calls from consoles, SDKs, CLIs, service-to-service communications, all the who, what, when, where of your AWS account. Event types, the 3 amigos. 1. Management events, the usual suspects, resource configuration changes, security modifications, data routing setup, logged by default, can separate read versus write events. 2. Data events, the chatty ones, high-volume operations, S3 object-level activity, Lambda function executions, not logged by default, they're noisy. 3. CloudTrail Insights events, the smart detective, detects unusual activity patterns, spots resource provisioning spikes, catches bursts of IAM actions, uses ML to establish baselines, how meta. Exam tip number 5. CloudTrail stores events for 90 days by default. For longer retention, send to S3 and analyze with Athena. The trail configuration. You can set up trails for all regions, recommended for compliance, single region if you're feeling regional, send to CloudWatch logs or S3, or both. AWS config is like having a very thorough compliance officer who never takes a day off. It's all about tracking configuration changes and ensuring your ML infrastructure stays compliant. Config's superpowers. Config answers the big questions. Is there unrestricted SSH access to my security groups? How has my application load balancer configuration changed over time? Are my SageMaker endpoints encrypted? Config rules. The rule enforcers, you've got options. 75 plus AWS managed rules, pre-built compliance checks, custom rules using Lambda for your special requirements, evaluation triggers on configuration changes, or regular intervals. Important, config rules don't prevent actions, they just tell you when things are non-compliant. Think advisor, not bouncer. Remediations and notifications. Automated remediation using SSM automation documents, Event Bridge or SNS notifications when resources go rogue, cross-region and cross-account aggregation for enterprise compliance. Exam tip number 6. Config is a per-region service, but you can aggregate data across regions and accounts, perfect for multi-region ML deployments. Let's clear up the confusion between the 3 C's of AWS monitoring. CloudWatch, the performance monitor. Focus, metrics, events, alerting, log analysis. Use case, how's my model performing? ELB example, monitor connection counts and error rates. CloudTrail, the activity tracker. Focus, API calls and user activity global service. Use case, who changed what and when. ELB example, track who modified the load balancer configuration. Config, the compliance checker. Focus, configuration changes and compliance rules. Use case, is my infrastructure compliant? ELB example, track security group rule changes and compliance status. Memory trick, CloudWatch performance, CloudTrail is people, config rules compliance. Money talks, and in ML it sometimes screams. Let's cover the cost management tools you need to know. AWS budgets, the financial guardian. Create budgets for cost budgets, don't spend more than X dollars. Usage budgets, don't use more than Y hours. Reservation budgets, track reserved instance utilization. Savings plans budgets, monitor commitment usage. Features, up to 5 SNS notifications per budget. Same filtering options as Cost Explorer. Proactive cost control for ML workloads. AWS Cost Explorer, the financial detective. Your go-to tool for visualizing costs and usage patterns. Custom reports with granular filtering. Monthly, daily, or hourly analysis. Optimal savings plans recommendations. 12-month usage forecasting. Exam tip number 7. Cost Explorer is great for analyzing historical data and optimizing future spending. AWS Trusted Advisor, the wise counselor, analyzes your account across 6 categories. Cost optimization, find savings opportunities. Performance, speed up your workloads. Security, close security gaps. Fault tolerance, improve resilience. Service limits, avoid hitting quotas. Operational excellence, best practices. Note, full checks and programmatic access require business or enterprise support plans. All right, future ML engineers, let's talk strategy. Here are my battle-tested tips for crushing the MLA-C01, the big picture approach. Remember, this exam has 4 domains, but data preparation for machine learning is the heaviest at 28%. However, monitoring and governance still show up throughout all domains. Key exam patterns to watch. Real-time versus near real-time versus sub. Batch CloudWatch metric streams near real-time. Log subscriptions, real-time. S3 export, batch, up to 12 hours. Service integration questions. How does CloudWatch integrate with SageMaker? When would you use XRay versus CloudWatch for ML debugging? Config versus CloudTrail for compliance scenarios. Cost optimization scenarios. Which tool for which cost management task? Tagging strategies for ML resource allocation. Spot instances for training jobs. Hash memory palace techniques. CloudWatch, watch, monitoring, and observability. XRay equals XRay vision, see through distributed systems. QuickSight, quick insight, fast business intelligence. CloudTrail, paper trail, audit and compliance. Config equals configuration, compliance and change tracking. Practice strategy, take lots of practice exams. The real exam has 65 questions with new question types, including multiple choice, multiple answer, matching, ordering, and case studies. Focus on hands-on experience. This certification requires at least 1 year of experience with Amazon SageMaker and other AWS services for machine learning. And there you have it, ML Warriors. We've covered the monitoring, logging, and governance foundations that will help you ace the AWS Certified Machine Learning Engineer Associate exam. Quick recap: CloudWatch for comprehensive monitoring and alerting, XRay for distributed system debugging, QuickSight for ML business intelligence, CloudTrail for audit and compliance, config for configuration compliance, cost management with budgets, Cost Explorer, and Trusted Advisor. Your action plan. Set up these services in your own AWS account. Practice with real ML workloads. Take practice exams regularly. Focus on service integration scenarios. Remember, the demand for AI and ML specialists is exploding. 80% growth by 2030. This certification could be your ticket to an amazing career in ML engineering. If this video helped you understand these services better, smash that like button. Subscribe for more AWS certification content and ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Drop a comment below with your biggest AWS monitoring challenge. I read every single one and love helping fellow cloud enthusiasts succeed. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and remember, in the cloud, monitoring isn't just recommended, it's essential. Catch you in the next episode where we'll dive deep into SageMaker deployment strategies. This is WisdomBird, signing off. All right, folks, that's it for today. If you enjoy WisdomBird Talks Tech, don't forget to like, bookmark, and share. Your triple support is the biggest motivation for WisdomBird to keep going. Got a tech topic you want to hear about? Drop it in the comments. WisdomBird will cover it next time. See you in the next episode, where we'll keep chatting tech, talking people, and exploring the human warmth behind AI. I'm WisdomBird, the super smart bird flying with you on this tech journey.